Now, Furful had been running at such great speed she didn't have time to pay any heed to where she was going, so she didn't see the hole that opened up suddenly beneath her feet. A yawning abyss that swallowed her into its waiting blackness, snatching her from certain disaster into the earth, falling ever faster. With a painful thud, her fall abruptly ended, bruising all her muscles and making her head resound with a thunderous crack as she hit the ground. Alone and lost in the perilous deep, she collapsed and wept in a trembling heap. Then, just as it seemed nothing more could go wrong, she heard voices singing battle songs.
Pound the drum, sound the horn, we'll run away to greet the dawn. We'll kill anybody who gets in our way. We have no mercy, we always slay. Whoever we meet, we'll butchers it's too. So don't let us get our hands on you. Pound the drum, sound the horn, we'll run away to greet the dawn. We're crazy with rage, we wreck and destroy. Whatever we find, it's all we enjoy. We ravage and ruin, we're cruel, it's too. We're savage barbarians coming for you. Pound the drum, sound the horn, we're on our way to greet the dawn.
The voices belonged to a roving horde of Vikings, brandishing axes and swords. But far from being a mean and malicious band of marauders, cruel and vicious. These Vikings were affable, gentle and kind, well-spoken, intelligent, cultured, refined. But surely the greatest surprise of all was that they were, on average, just 6 inches tall. It was, they said, this lack of height that was the reason they sang such frightening songs, to ward off possible foes, for in truth they were afraid of their own shadows. Well, Furful and they were instant friends. They listened attentively to her tale, then offered to lead her through the winding maze of tunnels and help her find her way. For they were on a quest this night, a pilgrimage to a holy site of ancient and tremendous power that wasn't far from the wizard's tower. Through many a twining tunnel they passed, till up they climbed above ground at last, from under a tree through a narrow hole, not far from a troop of troublous trolls.
So I said to him I did. The only way to get an even application of base to both cheeks is to apply it with both hands simultaneously, thus ensuring an even rub.
Right. It all makes perfect sense, really, doesn't it? And what would you say is the best way to avoid shaving rash?
Get a wax, dearie. Why, I'm due for one myself. The hedge needs a bit of a trim, if you follow me.
For the rest of that night they walked, until just before sunrise, in the pregnant, still morning air, they arrived at their destination. Bowing their heads in veneration, they formed a circle and prayed. Furful wondered what strange creatures had made this mysterious sight. Had they come from afar? Perhaps visitors from distant stars? Apart from this shrine they had left no mark. Their origins now lie back in the dark forgotten depths of prehistory, and shall ever remain a mystery. But the Vikings believe that a force still surrounds these relics, these hallowed grounds. And every year they draw upon that field in the first light of the solstice sun. As the first rays of light lit up the horizon, 1,000 birds burst into song, and the Vikings, waving their arms in the air, let forth an almighty cheer. Sun that swallows darkness may, ye always illumine our winding way. And as ye grant life to the earth, we pray you nurse our spiritual birth. Having brought together threads, it is a painful moment when the paths that must be followed lead to different, distant destinies. With many a tear in their eye, Vikings said their last goodbyes to Furful as she turned alone and set off on her journey home.
The more you look, the less you see. Listen for the music, come dance with me.
Adventurous thoughts and the urge to roam had vanished by the time Furful was home. The only thought within her head was of sleeping peacefully in her bed. No more witches, no cats, no tired feet, no more terror, just blissful peace. A boring life, free of peril and pain, devoid of danger, safe and sane. The wizard had searched till his poor old head was sure sorry sore, till he forgot what he'd been searching for. Something important was lost, he knew, but what it was, he hadn't a clue. So he gave up, sat his weary ass down, picked up a book. Heard a noise. When he turned to look for its source, he was delighted to see Furful standing there, triumphantly holding his magic knife.
Of course! That's what it was! Where on earth did you find that, you cheeky little thing?
Something about Furful was not the same. She was no larger, though she looked less small, more confident, more powerful. But though in truth she had acquired a greater sense of self, all she now felt was tired. So she returned the wizard's magic name and leapt up onto the table, where she soundly slept.